Mentioned in prior episodes with myself and with Kane and on my Instagram, if you follow. Or if you don't follow, you can check me out at JamesPhillip313 on Instagram. A lot of my thoughts and writings go up there first before they make it to the channel. But I've said this episode was coming, and we're going to talk about how asinine the stock market is at the moment, how crazy or dumb we can be as traders and investors, which I'm not giving investment advice in any way, shape, or form. But we will talk about, 6 or 7 stocks from Carvana to PayPal to Netflix to Beyond Meat. Just to that thought of how many times will you say how many times? How many times will we say we've seen this story before and we ignore it? We saw it in 2001 with the tech bubble. We saw a different bubble in 2008. And you look at all this content in the prior years, last 2-3 years, and we're not in a bubble, we're not in a bubble, we're not in a bubble. And then it's like, oh crap, stock's down 75%. So let's talk about my general thought that if you look at a lot of the companies created in the last 5 years or so, it wasn't stuff we really needed. We don't need to buy our car from a vending machine. But goddamn, did we pump this stock up to over $300 a share? Do you realize that I can essentially buy a car through text message now? They can send you some DocuSign. You might need to get something notarized. They'll bring the car to your house. You can go to the dealer if you want. I've bought cars out of state where I didn't drive down there. You send them some money. They send you a car up on a flatbed. You don't need to go buy your car from a goddamn vending machine. It's a gimmick. And are we surprised that the stock's now getting clobbered? I saw an article on CNBC talking about how their founders are losing a fortune. Something Kane talks about a lot, so do I. Regression to the mean. This is where this stock was going before we pumped in $10 trillion of money in the system. If you extrapolate that out, it's probably right about where it is right now. All this is that frosty foam on top of a beer. This is because of the amount of money we pumped in the system. Why we don't want to understand that as retail investors, I don't know. I'm talking about this because I've been doing more episodes on wealth preservation. We always read content and videos and books about how to make money, how to get rich, how to make money, how to double your money, how to beat the S&P. We never talk about, once you get it in the bank account, how do you keep it there? You know how you keep it there? It's not falling for bad investments because you get sucked up in this thought of easy money, technology valuations. We'll look back in 5 years and go, why did we fall for marketing gimmick of buying a car from a vending machine? But man, when you're in it, you're in it. And no matter how rational someone tries to be with you, they don't understand. So here's a good example of falling for the hype. We don't need this. We don't need, what's the other one? Stitch Fix we're going to talk about. And I'm not even sure what they do, to be honest. Is that the company that sends you clothes in a box, for example? Look, I don't need my car from a vending machine. I don't need someone to pick out my clothes and ship them in a box to me. Blue Apron, I don't need someone to come up with meals and ship them to me. There's all these things that when you step back, you go, wow, can we do anything for ourselves anymore? And it's like, I don't need you to send me food in a box. I have a Emerald Lagasse book, and I can go to the store. I mean, they deliver your groceries to your house now. I can get Meijer, I can get Kroger. Target's got groceries. Anyone will deliver me groceries to my house. I don't need someone to send me food in a box. I can get recipes online all over the place. And you realize we get excited for this stuff, and then you realize how silly it is to an extent, and then people stop spending their money on it. So, let's look at, Netflix. There's something that you can call the COVID effect, where in 2020 into 2021, you're stuck at home. So you went and bought Netflix and Hulu and all this stuff. Well, guess what? We're booking more travel than you've ever seen before this summer. We're not sitting home watching Netflix anymore. Does it make sense that you're going to watch subscriptions drop. Oh my God. Does this not make sense? Once again, we go back to pre-COVID. This is kind of where the stock's going along. Extrapolate that out. We're over here somewhere. So maybe it is a buy. I don't know. Here, you pumped in trillions of dollars. We all had money to sit home and watch Netflix, and that heyday's over. What are we going to do over here? Oh, it's Peloton. We're stuck at home. We can't go to the gym. We got to work out in our house. What happens as soon as we're able to go back to the gym? We don't want to sit on a bike. I own a Peloton treadmill. It was like $4,000 or $5,000. Nice treadmill. But I still like going to the gym. And as soon as you can go back to the gym, you want to go back to the gym. There's just some feeling about being back in the gym, the social aspect, and all that stuff. This is as good as ever going to probably get for Peloton. When everyone's stuck at home and they got a bunch of money from the government, this is as good as it gets right here. How did you think it was going to continue going up? Not realistic. We got PayPal here. Another good example of regression to the mean. We're going to just keep going across, extrapolate it out. All right, maybe this one could potentially be a buy. I'm not sure. Up here, the nice frothy top of the beer mug, because of course PayPal is going to be making more money. Two things are going on here. There was probably more credit going on, and they do those like loans and whatnot in the early stages of COVID. And then you had people buying so much stuff. Everything was sold out. Around here, RVs sold out, jet skis sold out, ATVs, side by side. Everything was sold out. Gym equipment sold out. Bikes were sold out for over a year or year and a half around here. So of course, when you pump in, $10 trillion or something into the system, there's going to be more transactions. People are going to be buying more stuff. Obviously, through fees, PayPal's going to make more money. Guess what? That day is over. We're not pumping $10 trillion in the system anymore. Back down we go. This is probably as good as it gets. Stitch Fix. What exactly? I want to make sure I got the right company, because there's so many of these things out there. Like do they have a description on exactly what it is these people do? Give me a summary, company outlook. I don't know. So I think this is the company that sends you stuff in a box, like clothes. Let's go look over here. Discovering styles you love. It just got easier. So same thing. All right. I wanted to make sure that I'm not mixing these things up. I don't need my clothes sent to me in a box. It's still fun going to the store and shopping. If not, I can order clothes online. I know what I like. The irritations of online shopping in general. What do you order? Like 10 things and you end up sending 7 back? It's annoying. I'd rather just go to the store. Well, we're now learning that this business model isn't working that great for some people as well. So if we go look at 5 years, regression to the mean before we got into COVID, again, it's now down below that. But, we might have been trending down a little bit anyways. Here, sitting at home, pumping in trillions of dollars, stock gets pumped up, down. Why are we surprised? I don't need my clothes to come in a box. I don't need my car from a vending machine. We're going to talk about the same stuff over and over and over. Blue Apron. This thing was up to, $1.40-ish. Oh, this thing gets hammered down to $3.80. You know why? When you look at the portion sizes, the price, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm saying most of these companies that come out now, they are creating solutions for problems that don't exist. Or they're essentially saying that we're so stupid that we just can't even cook our own food anymore. Look, man, you get your grocery delivered to your house. You don't even got to buy a cookbook. I have cookbooks because I like to cook. Go online, get recipes, order your food. It gets delivered to the house. I don't have to pay Blue Apron for this. Of course, they get hammered. Surprise, surprise. They're trying to take away every life skill you have. Don't pick out your own clothes. We'll do it for you. You don't need to learn how to cook. We'll do it for you. You don't need to learn how to negotiate a car. Just go and buy it from a vending machine. All these gimmicks. When we really push people to say, where do I want to spend my money? They're like, this isn't worth it. I want to spend my money in other places. But God, for the last few years, we're all about these companies, and we put these like founders and these entrepreneurs and these CEOs and their investors on this like high pedestal. At the end of the day, what do you need? Do we need Snapchat, by the way? If Snapchat disappears tomorrow, would we care? You could probably accomplish the same thing through something else, some other app. But what is really gained? Why is Tesla stock still going up right now? The market wants electric cars. Part of the market does. That's a lot of times how I look at stocks. Do we really need this? When push comes to shove, I don't need Blue Apron. I just know I need to be able to buy chicken and stuff at the local grocery store. I need the truck driver and the transportation company to make sure my food's delivered way more than I do someone at Blue Apron. So these are like, you look at when people say, "Oh, Warren Buffett missed out on all these stocks," it's like, but he's still like in the top 5 of the wealthiest of all time because he learned how to hang on to the money. Like it's wealth preservation. It's making steady gains over a long period of time. Oh, what's the last one we got here? Beyond Meat's another one, and I'm just gonna lump in. I'm not even talking about Beyond. Oh, Jesus, this thing was up to 200 peaks here, 178, and then boom, down to $38. This is something that Kane and I talk about as a Twitter effect or social media effect. You are now seeing a lot of things that are amplified on TV, in the media, and social media. I believe companies start mistaking that for that's what a bulk of the general public wants because it's what you hear the most of. And I think you're finding out now that a bulk of the public doesn't want this type of food. There is a good sized portion that wants this type of food, but I think they fall for it because you see it on Twitter so much and social media that you think, wow, 60 or 70% of the market must want this. And then you launch and you're like, oh, what's going on? So if I'm Burger King and when they were marketing the Impossible Whopper, for example, I don't know if that worked out too well for them. It's, you're well known for this and you're trying to pimp a product that might be for 5% of your customer base, 10% on the high side, I'm guessing. The restaurants that try doing a lot of the alternative chicken meats and all that stuff, they're still selling like, 94% chicken and 6% this. You're finding out that you're making these major business decisions on what you feel is the pulse of the market based on social media and what the news channels talk about. And then when it hits the market, you find out that's not what they wanted. A good example, Kane over at Daggerfin, they did a survey. I don't remember exactly what the survey was about. One of the questions was around, do you plan on are you interested in an electric car in the near future or something? And I want to say 70-something% of people said no. If you just watch the media and you listen to what's going on, you would think 100% of people in this country want electric vehicles right now. And that's just not the case. There is a market for it, and that's why Tesla is growing. Like it might be 10, 15, 20% of the market. But if you listen to social media, the bloggers, the influencers, if you watch the news, they make it seem like only people want electric cars and that's it. It doesn't work so well when you start cramming products down people's throats that they don't want. This is what happens. So the general thought is, if you're going to make an investment, ask yourself, does the world need it in the long run? Do we need Blue Apron? Do we need Stitch Fix? PayPal serves a purpose, but what about Square? What about Stripe? There's so many other options out there now, too. How many... I bought Peloton treadmill because I felt it was the best built treadmill I've seen for the residential market. Do I need the instructors? It's not the same. If you've ever been to a real spin class and you do it at home, it's just not the same. What else we got? Netflix. I don't even watch it. I got Netflix. I don't watch it because I feel like they're not putting content out that I want to watch. Like, there might be a couple of docus I watched. When The Irishman came out, I watched that. How about, here's the thing. I remember like some people in the automotive industry, executives talk about this. When you build cars people want to buy, you don't even need to market them. People buy them because they want to buy them. You tend to have to spend a boatload of money on vehicles for marketing, anyways, that aren't moving out the lots. Well, Netflix, same thought here. If you create content that people want to watch, then you'll get more subscribers and more people will stick around. If you're not going to produce content that people want to watch, this is what happens. I'm losing interest in Netflix because on top of it, it's like, you know, you flick through the TV and it's like sign up for History Vault, sign up for Discovery Plus, and then there's Peacock, and then you got HBO Max, and then you need, what was I watching? Oh, I had to like sign up for Hulu to watch the Uber or whatever the hell I was trying to watch. Like for one show, like there's like 15 streaming services you have to have on top of your cable channel. At some point, it's like I don't even use Netflix anymore because I got all these stupid things. Or they'll do something like season 1 and 2 is on this streaming service, season 3 is on this streaming service, and season 4 and 7's on this streaming service. This is just annoying. You see Netflix losing out. If you don't give us a reason to keep the subscription, such as good content that we want to watch, you lose. And this Carvana thing, I think people actually thought that this model was going to take over. That the gimmick of going and buying a car from a vending machine. My thought is, act like an adult. You have a phone conversation. If you can't do that, buy one through email. You don't even have to go to the dealer. This is a pretty big purchase. Are you more worried about buying a car through a vending machine so you don't have to interact with anybody in life? Oh my God, I could go on. I just don't know how we thought this model was going to continue and thrive. At the end of the day, it's not that hard to buy a car anymore. What can you do at this point? I'm thinking about it. Remember the car sharing service like Zip Car and stuff? I need to go look that up and see what they're. Not heard about them in a minute. You got CarMax and those types of dealers. It's just so many easy ways to buy and sell cars anymore. So, anyways, there's probably 20 other stocks I could talk about where it's things that seem cool. We got sucked into it, and it was just stuff we don't need. Like, why does Warren Buffett buy like Apple and Bank of America? These are things you just need. I don't need to buy my car from a vending machine. I don't need my clothes picked out for me and shipped to me in a box. I don't need chicken alternatives. I don't need my food sent to me in a box. It's these convenience things, these subscription type services, and they add up. And then are they ever worth the value? Because there's a cost to that. There's a cost for someone to make that meal and send it to you in the packaging and all that stuff. It's like, come on, man, I'm just gonna buy some chicken and my own green beans. It's here's what I gotta do. I can throw some olive oil in a pan, and I can quickly saute asparagus or green beans in the olive oil, and I can throw on some fresh cracked pepper, salt, some garlic, and some Parmesan cheese until it makes these almost like crispy asparagus type fries, and I can do all that without having someone pre-package up the meal and ship it to me. It's asinine. It's like, this is the crazy world we're in. We're going to look back in 5 years and say, was I really buying my food this way? Did I really buy a car through a vending machine? Like, you look back and you're going to see how silly this market was. This was the everything bubble. The everything bubble. The housing market, cryptos, stocks, NFTs. It'll pop and then it'll go back up again. But we're already seeing it pop. Some of these stocks are down like 75% or more. I just read on CNBC. I don't know. The absurdity of investing once we get a little bit of money. It's crazy what we believe in. It's crazy what we fall for. And then you'll sit around and see all the negative comments about people like Buffett. And it's like, yeah, maybe he should have bought Tesla, this or that. And there's things he should have done because it's so easy to look back and say, hey, you should have done that. But at the end of the day, if you're still holding that like top 5 spot and still gaining, you're doing something right, because it takes a certain level of discipline to sit back and say, here is my investment plan. This is what I'm going to stick to unless I, get some new knowledge that says I need to change my strategy. There's a lot of people losing money right now, and they had a bunch of money stacked up, and they were way up, just flush, stacks of cash, and you're watching some of that evaporate now. And it's back to wealth preservation. We want to focus on getting rich quick, but did we ever think about what do we have to do to protect that? So, just a thought, moving forward, what kind of stocks you're investing in. Does the world need it or not? That's the one question I usually ask myself when I make a stock purchase. If things fall apart, does the world need this? That's my thoughts. Anyways, I'll catch you on the next one.